What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Don Trap, where we trap dons. In today's video, I want to talk to younger men. I want to talk to men who are under the age of 24. Yes, let's go with that. Under the age of 24. This one's for y'all. I want y'all to hear me out, and after I say what I say, I want y'all to ask older people in your lives how they feel about what I'm saying. When we're in high school and we're kids, we're always told to chase after the baddest girl in the school, right? We always told, don't mess with this girl, that girl, she ugly, right? But the reality is, a lot of these women who still live at home with their parents are you only look at them as being ugly because they're following the rules of their household. They're being told that they can't wear their hair a certain way. They're being told that they can't wear makeup the way they want to wear their makeup, right? But what you come to find out once you hit above the age of 25 is those ugly ducklings end up turning into motherfucking swans. There's so many girls when I was young that I passed up because I didn't feel like they was attractive enough. But then as I got older, I realized, dang, all the girls that I thought was bad ended up being fat with a bunch of kids and washed up. But those women that were looked over by everybody ended up being the baddies. They ended up being the ones that everybody wanted. But because we looked over them or we called them ugly, they don't want nothing to do with us. Right? And I'm sure a lot of y'all who are watching this video who are older have dealt with the same thing. And you got to think, when you mess with that girl who's the baddest, who gets all the attention, she's also getting all the attention from the dudes who are going to do just about anything for her. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to end up getting ran through. She's going to get to college still thinking she's the baddest chick, or knowing she's the bad chick. And she's going to get ran through by the whole football team and the whole basketball team. While the ugly duckling, who is focused on her grades and ain't focused on dudes, they're going to be the ones who are going to be the prize once they get past those college years. Once they hit 25, 26, 30 years old. You're going to be looking at them like, damn, why didn't I mess with such and such? I know she wasn't all that back in high school. I know she wasn't all that in college. Dang, what happened? And they're going to be the ones who really aren't going to come with the baggage that these other women who were put on the pedestal their whole lives is going to come with. Because nobody was messing with them like that, they didn't go through all the breakups. They didn't go through dealing with all these fuck niggas. They didn't deal with that shit. So now that they've blossomed into who they are the ones who end up becoming the prize when it comes down to a woman being the prize. Don't get me wrong, the man is always the prize. But when it comes down to dealing with a woman who doesn't have those issues that the average modern woman has, is going to be the ones that were looked over, that are going to fulfill that category and give you what you need, give you the peace that you need, and all that. Because they was never the ones also who was chasing the spotlight, chasing being seen, chasing getting validation from everybody. Because they were always told that they would never get it.
There's construction ahead.
And like I said, I don't know how many girls I done came across just looking at like Facebook, Instagram, and all that we thought were the baddest chicks in the world. The baddest chicks in the world. Now they all fat, sloppy, and ran through. They the ones that's on the internet talking about, I'd do anything to have a D in my mouth right now. Pause. They the ones who are saying, are always the ones on the internet talking about they need a dude for money because they spent their whole lives out here thinking that their looks were going to get them ahead in life. But them looks done fell off. And I dealt with that big time with my ex. She was one of those girls who, I guess during high school and all that, she always stood out amongst all the other girls in her school. But now that she's an adult and she's pushing 40, now she's dealing with the insecurities of not getting the looks that she was getting when she was young. She's now dealing with the insecurities of not looking like she's 20 years old anymore. And that's another thing that you're going to deal with, dealing with those girls who were put on a pedestal all through their life based off their looks. Because eventually the looks going to go away. I don't care who you are. Eventually your looks are going to change. Eventually you're going to get middle-age spread. Eventually you're going to get freaking wrinkles on your face. I don't care how much face creams and facials and all that shit you put on your face. You're going to start to look old. But see, even with the girls who weren't the baddest when we were kids, because they weren't the baddest when they were kids, when they do go through those things, they're not going to have the mental load put on, the mental bullshit put on them, and the insecurities, because they were already told that they weren't the best thing looking. You feel me? So I just wanted to make this video for the younger generation to let them know, if it's one thing that if it's one thing you take out of all my videos is and apply it into your life, is to leave those girls that you may think is bad now and start dealing with the ones that you may not be so attractive to now. And a good way to judge this, and I wish I would have known this when I was a kid, is look at their mamas. If a girl don't look that good, right, but you see her mama, and her mama bad as hell, guess what's going to end up happening? She going to be bad as hell, just like her mama. She's just a late springer. Because a lot of these bad chicks, man, what I don't realize too is by meeting they mamas be ugly as fuck. They mamas be 300 pounds. It just ain't hit her yet. And eventually it will. Now, I'm not saying all women who were bad when they were young end up looking terrible when they get older, but a large amount of what I've seen, that's what it's been. And a large amount of what I've seen from the girls that weren't the baddest, that we didn't give attention to, they ended up being the bad ones. So I just wanted to make this video real quick just to, give that little bit of advice to you younger men out there that are in the dating world, that you're better off finding an average looking chick over a baddie when you're in your late teens, early 20s, because those roles is going to reverse when you get to your 30s. And I would rather deal with a chick that's bad as hell in her 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s than a chick that was only bad in her teens and her freaking early 20s. Because you got to deal, if you end up marrying this chick, you got to deal with this chick for the rest of your life. And you got to look at that for the rest of your life. And you don't want to be looking at her later on in life like, damn, man, she was so bad back in the day. What the hell happened? She just completely fell off. So, with all that being said and done, if y'all know somebody that's young, that's out here in the dating world, if you got little brothers, little nephews, or any of that, send this video to them as a warning. And if you've seen this happen, let them know that you've seen this happen, because a lot of these kids don't know. They're looking at what's happening right now and not really looking at the future when they're out here dating. So anyways, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll holler at y'all on the next video. Peace. Try.